Everyone's Jackal Wolf back with another Is It Still Worth It mod pack review. This episode, we're going to take a look at Stoneblock 2. This is a mod pack that came out about 3 years ago. It's by Feed the Beast. They've done a lot of really cool packs. So like I've done in the past, I've got 4 metrics to help you decide if this is a mod pack that you need to play, whether there's a new player to it or as a returning player for a second look. So if you're not familiar with Stoneblock 2, what this mod pack does is that it places you in a world completely encased in stone. There are no natural resources. What you need to do is break down the stone around you, turn it into tools and machines, and from there progress through the different mod packs. But before we get started, now would be a great time to hit that subscribe button, click on that notification bell. That way you're alerted every time I post a new video to my channel. Also, if you're enjoying this content and you want to support, click on the join button down below. Check out all the perks I got available for my community members. Alternately, you can check out my Patreon page. There's a link down below in the description. But enough about that. Let's get back to the video. So first up, what we're going to look at is mods. Stoneblock 2 has 227 mods. This is a fair number of mods, though as I've said previously, it's not the mod count that matters, but how they work together. One of the most important factors to consider for mod quality is the resource gathering mods available, and Stoneblock 2 does not disappoint. We've got your standard Mystical Agriculture and Ex Nihilo Creatio, as well as my personal favorite, the chickens and the fluid cows. These are some really fun mods, and while they can get a little OP later on, it takes a lot of work to get them to that point. Beyond that, we've got mods like Storage Drawers, Project E, Draconic Evolution, and a whole bunch of other things to get your teeth into. The only downside here is that this is a 1.12.2 mod pack, which means that a lot of these mods are on the older side and have been revamped in later versions. So for mods, I'm going to give Stoneblock 2 a 3 out of 5 chickens. It's got some really good classic mods that everybody knows and loves. And while some of these mods are older, certain ones like the chickens mod, which again is one of my favorite mods, was never updated beyond 1.12.2. I'm going to put a little caveat here. While I was doing research for this video, I did come across a new mod pack called Roost Ultimate. It looks like it's only been out for a couple of months, but it looks like it adds chickens all the way up to 1.18. So I'm actually kind of excited about that. Keep an eye out in the future. I may be doing a little video on that one. Also, Stoneblock 2 contains one of my all-time favorite boss mods, and that is the Ender Chicken. This is a really cool mob that replaces the Ender Dragon in your world. It is a lot of fun to fight and is super difficult if you're not properly prepared. So the second thing we want to look at now is world type. Stoneblock 2 is a skyblock world by any other name. Yes, you're surrounded by stone and not out over a void, but the mechanics of the gameplay are very similar. Starting with a minimum of resources, you've got to build everything in your world from scratch. One advantage it does have on a lot of skyblock worlds, though, is there is a little bit of a reason to explore. Now, this is not exploring like in vanilla, where you're going to come across tons and tons of different places. Basically, in Stoneblock 2, all the different dimensions are layered on top of one another. To get to the mining dimension, for example, you've got to mine to the top of the world. Then, to get to the Ender dimension, you've got to mine to the top of the mining dimension. Simply getting to the top of the map will automatically transport you to the next level. So for world type, I think Stoneblock 2 deserves 3 out of 5 chickens. There is not a lot of variety between worlds, certainly not to the extent that we've seen from other mod packs, but it is unique in that it is a stone world. And while there are other mod packs that have similar world types in them, it's certainly the exception, not the rule when it comes to skyblock style world types. Next up, we're going to take a look at the advancement guide. Stoneblock 2 does have a very comprehensive advancement/quest system. This guide does a very good job of leading you through the early game mechanics, as well as through some of the later, more difficult mod systems. Included in the quest guide, for better or for worse, there's also a reward system. That means whenever you complete quests, you can claim random rewards. Because of its random nature, a lot of the rewards that you're going to get are not going to be useful at that moment. This does feel a little unbalanced, and you could probably say that it's actually broken in that you're getting rewards that you can't possibly use. They're not really rewards, they're just blocks that take up space in your inventory. So I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5 chickens. It is a solid quest guide that is very comprehensive and covers the majority of mods that you're going to be looking at. But at the same time, the rewards are very broken in this. And while they can be useful, on occasion they're going to be a little OP. That leads us to our last metric, replayability. One thing I mentioned before is that this game has multiple resource paths. You've got your chickens, you've got your fluid cows, you've got your mystical agriculture, you've got your ex nihilo creatio. All of these are fun little paths that you can pick one and kind of go down that rabbit hole without really having to go too deep into any of the other ones. This means that you can replay this game with a little bit of a different focus each time. Where there's a little bit of a drawback is that this is a stone block world and there's very, very little variety in the world type. Until you get up to the mining dimension, which does have random resources scattered around, it's basically stone all the way up to the top. Now, this is not super surprising. It is a game called Stone Block, but from a replayability perspective, it may be a little bit of a downside. One other thing to consider, though, is going back to the reward system. These are random rewards, and they do change up the way that you play the game. So all that said, for replayability, I'm going to give Stone Block 2 a 4 out of 5 chickens. If you haven't played it, it certainly needs to be on your must-play list. And if you've previously played it, it might actually be worth another look. But that's going to be it for this one, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.